Are you struggling with feeling stuck in your life journey? Does it seem as if the challenges or conflicts that you keep experiencing are on repeat? Healing through feeling could be your new way through to a more satisfying life. Now, here is the host of the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide, Sharyn Nichols.
Welcome, everyone, to today's show, Feel to Heal. Myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Incredible Inspired Choices Network. I am so excited for today's show because we are going to talk about goal setting, enjoying the journey on the way to the goal, and how to even manage some expectations. Although first, I want to start off with our lovely guided meditation today for intention setting that I have to say I borrowed from Deepak. He has a wonderful series of meditations, and this one just spoke to me in terms of opening up and setting intentions. I mean, they're all meditations pretty much from my perspective are all the same or similar. They're all about either opening your heart or opening your mind and just allowing. It's about quieting the mind clatter, the talking, the self-talk, the words that we say to ourselves that take away from who we really are and what our goals really truly are. So let's find a comfortable place to sit upright in your seat with your feet on the floor, or sitting on a cushion if you have an incredible meditation space. Wherever you are, if you're even sitting in the car, able to pull over, of course, because we most meditations, your eyes should be closed, although only to close your eyes when safe. And let's settle in. Just roll your shoulders, just really feel your sit bones anchored into the chair or cushion or even the floor. And let's receive a breath, inhaling through your nose and then exhaling through your mouth. When you feel as though you're settled into a calm, centered, relaxed state, bring into your awareness the area of your life that you would like to transform. Imagine your highest vision for this area of your life as if it has already happened and you're presently living with this energy, with this achievement, with this feeling. So ask yourself, how does this look? What does this feel like? What have you called into your life? What are you doing? Who's there with you? What is happening around you? And what are your daily practices that you can be doing to keep you anchored in this ideal vision that you are finding yourself in? Make this vision as compelling and as real as possible. This isn't something that needs to be created. It already exists within you. You just need to access it. So let's receive another breath. So now that you've spent some time breathing into the beingness of your living vision, ask your higher self, God, the universe, your intuition, your higher power, whichever feels the most appropriate to you, to show you a goal or a few goals that you will need to achieve in order to fully step into this vision of your life. Think of your goals as milestones along your path. What do you need to produce or gain in order to actualize your goal? Make a mental note of these things. Keep breathing. Knowing that this goal must be attained for you to move closer to your living vision, it's time to identify some action steps to be taken each day or each week. Perhaps incorporating this into your practice or some other support structure you may need to put in place to assist you in getting to where you're going. Keep breathing. Ask yourself, what do I need to do this week to move me more powerfully forward in my life? Is there a meditation? Is there exercise? Clean eating, conscious communication, writing, anything to anchor in my vision? Is there a group or a coach or a friend to reach out to for support? To keep me focused? Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Visualize yourself inside a picture or a movie in your mind where you see yourself taking the actions. You're feeling inspired and empowered because of the momentum you have gained and because of the progress you are making. Keep breathing. As you look around, notice how your life has changed as a result of achieving your goal. As it all merges together, you realize that you are now living your highest vision for your for your life in this area. This incredible picture. Receive a breath and allow yourself to feel how it feels to be a part of this idea, of this movie, of this incredible vision. Keep breathing. Now step out of this picture or movie in your mind and imagine that you are holding it in your hands. You no longer see yourself inside the picture or the movie. You're looking in on it. Receiving a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, sending it straight into the image of you living in your highest vision. Do this 4 times in your own time. energizing your intention with your life breath, with this life-giving energy. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Next, imagine that you are floating above where you are now, taking in the picture of your highest vision with you. Float out into your future and let it go. Watch your picture float right down into your future-based timeline on or before the date you would like to actualize it. It is so important to trust that it will land exactly where it's meant to be. Notice how all the events between then and now reevaluate themselves to support you in bringing about your goals and your vision of your highest self. Floating back down into the now and spending a few moments following your breath in and out. Settling back into your body, back into this present time. Receiving a few more breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Moving your shoulders, your neck. Feeling your sit bones in your chair, in your cushion. When you are ready, slowly allowing your eyes to open and sitting quietly for a few minutes, reviewing your vision, the goals, and any action steps or practices that you need to take or to cultivate. And if you'd like, take out your journal or a piece of paper and write down some notes. What was the area of your life that you wanted to focus on? Did it surprise you? Did it open up something inside of you? Did you give yourself permission to move forward? You may want to write down in detail or just take some notes about the goals or the milestones that you might need to hit in order to achieve or turn this vision into a reality. Now that you've written them down, where's the first place that you want to act on? What's the first little baby step that you can take? Be in the noticing of that. And then be in the noticing of the next baby step. And then the next big step. And then another baby step. Receiving a breath again. And bringing yourself back here and now in the present moment. You are listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. And we just finished our meditation. And when we come back from break, we are going to talk all about setting goals and enjoying the journey on the way, talking about failure and expectations. So excited. See you back in a couple of minutes.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. And today's topic is about setting goals and enjoying the journey on the way to the goal, and managing expectations and embracing failure. So my quote today is, "Success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome." And Arthur Ashe said that. I'm assuming others have also said similar things, although Arthur Ashe was a world acclaimed tennis player. Anyway, he's been one of my heroes. I've been following tennis my entire life, and not that I want to get off on a tangent, so I will bring it back around. He was a very successful tennis player, and he lost a lot of matches along with winning a lot as well. And so I just felt that it was the most appropriate person to quote in this moment. As soon as I read it, it just resonated with me. And why is the journey so important on the way to the goal? The doing is often more important than the outcome. Focusing on the journey also shines a light on what else you get out of trying to reach your goals. So by setting out to achieve a goal, you're forming new habits, striving towards something bigger than yourself, and living your life with purpose. You know, all of the topics and all the things that I've talked about since I started my podcast, they're all sort of intertwined, because it's basically just how to live your life. And sort of the formula is set a goal, because there's, we all have a purpose, or we all would like to think we have one. I can even tell you what your purpose is based on your human design, but we're going to talk about that next week. And so knowing my purpose, one of my purposes here this lifetime is for me to create content And so one of the reasons why I set the goal of doing this podcast was so that I could create content, so I could write a book. And one of the offshoots has been for me is figuring out how to even structure the book and what my ultimate voice is and what my ultimate goal. And so I truly have been enjoying the journey on the way to this goal. For those of you who have been listening to me from the beginning, I set off with a really rocky start. I wasn't 100% prepared. I also got a little bit emotional. So from my perspective, I wasn't as professional as I could have been. And one thing that I did know is that I needed to manage the expectations that I had for myself, that I was absolutely going to fail and allow myself to fail, along with allowing myself to succeed and feeling good when I did overcome my little setbacks or my failures. So I want to talk about SMART goal setting. SMART goals are a big cognitive behavioral therapy tool because they are SMART. It's an acronym. SMART is specific, M is measurable, A is attainable, R is relevant or rewarding, and then T is time sensitive. SMART goals. So your goals should be specific. Like I just said, my specific goal was to create content. And so I was so open as to how it was going to look. I knew I wanted to write a book, or at least that's what I should say. I thought that that's what I wanted, and I still do. And all of these podcasts will eventually be chapters in a book, although that's my long-term goal. My short-term goals, which I know I've talked about in terms of the baby steps, taking baby steps. Baby steps. So the baby steps we're getting through each show for me. And now I look forward to it. Now I get excited. I don't dread them. I don't have adverse reactions of fear and that I don't know what I'm talking about. And it's so been incredible for me to embrace myself and and that's the key. That's the key, is allowing yourself to feel how you're going to feel in order for you to have your thoughts and your feelings and still do it anyway. Because when you look back on the goal, it's actually the process that you actually is the most memorable. It's the process that actually makes you feel the happiest. Because yes, in the moment, once you've achieved it, it feels great. Although looking back on how you got there and I'm getting ahead of myself. So back to measurable. So SMART goals, S, specific or significant. The M is measurable. So setting a precise goal, measuring. So it was, like I said, first a little goal was getting through each show. And then I now have some sort of a formula. I figured that out. So I have just slowly but steadily done my little baby steps. And my ultimate goal is to complete a whole year of podcasts and shows on different topics, and just each week just improving on the last for myself. Each week it's about me showing up and stretching myself even more. Attainable. Keep some goals little and then some goals big, because obviously I couldn't do a whole year's worth of podcasts in a week. I needed to do it. I need to do them in a whole year. And so small ones are the attainable ones, and then the bigger ones are also attainable. So if I just said that I'm just going to do podcasts for an entire year, and that was my goal, that would be great. Although I still needed to set little ones in between because the year goal is so far out that I needed to also do little ones along the way. Yes, that makes sense to me. So rewarding. I feel at the end of each show, I feel really, really good about myself. So it's about setting a little reward for yourself after the little baby steps. And you know what? I haven't decided yet what my big reward is going to be for myself after I've completed the year. Although my little ones, I take a momentary break. I sit and meditate sometimes because that's my reward, where I just sit in silence or in stillness, in the quiet, because I have just put out so much of myself and my energy. So then to just bring it back, that's one of the little things that I do for myself after each show. Time. Setting a realistic time goal. So realistically, I didn't expect to right out of the gate be stellar at doing a show. Although after 12 shows, I'd set a goal for myself that after 12 shows, after 3 months, that I should just be able to show up. Yes, I'm shitting on myself, although it was an achievable goal, or at least it felt that way to me. So before we move on and talk about enjoying the journey, I want to talk about enjoying the failures along the way, because those are equally as important. Failure can be an essential part of the journey because we may need to experience them before we can actually experience success. Because as we've heard, failure is the mother of all successes, because without failure, there would be no success. Failure can actually make us appreciate success more. It's like if there was no rain, how could we actually appreciate the sunshine? More importantly, failure is just temporary. That's the beautiful thing. It's then how we manage it and what weight we give to it when it comes to our goals and ourselves that truly matters. Failing to achieve your goals does not mean you have failed. It means that something is wrong, and therefore you need to change your strategy. So something was wrong with your strategy. So you may just need to change your approach. You don't necessarily need to change some of the ways that you are doing things. It's very normal to fail, and it's okay when you don't achieve your goals. It's the failure that can catapult you. It's about you using the failure. So here's two things. One, if Steve Jobs had never been fired, he would never have bought Pixar, and he would never have revolutionized Apple after he got back to working at the company. And also, if Walt Disney, I did not know this, had never been fired as a newspaper editor for his lack of imagination, which I find so ironic, Mickey Mouse and the whole Disney world land would never have become what we participate with, probably for some of us on a daily basis. And I say that a lot of tongue in cheek. Thank you so much. You are listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and we were just talking about enjoying our failures on the way to the goal. And when we come back from this next break, we're going to talk about the successes, and we're going to talk about really, truly enjoying our journey. See you back in a few.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you. You are listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, and today's topic is enjoying the journey on the way to the goal. You know, I realized I did not say why I chose this topic today. My first therapist when I was 22 kept telling me that I needed to enjoy the journey on the way to the goal. And this has been something that has been with me, something that I've ruminated on, something that I've meditated on, something that I've pushed aside and allowed to come back, and all of the wonderful things that we do with our thoughts. And I didn't really understand what she meant when I was 22. Of course, today I would like to think that I do. And it's been an incredible journey for myself with enjoying the journey, if that makes sense. So I guess I'm sort of being a little tongue in cheek with it, although it took me a long time to actually enjoy my life. You know, we all ultimately want to feel successful, want to feel satisfied, and want to be at peace. And so satisfaction for me comes attached to with happiness. So why we should all enjoy the journey is, have you ever told yourself that if you reached your goal, you'd just be happy? And I really thought that that's what my therapist was telling me, that enjoying the journey on the way to the goal was just sort of pretending to be happy in order to be happy. And I was just so focused on wanting to be happy that I was missing out, and I wasn't allowing myself to just be and to enjoy the small wins and embrace the failures. Since I believe we all have a deep desire to be happy, and we can use this to compel ourselves to move forward towards our goals, to work on ourselves so we can feel happy and fulfilled. Because here's the thing, no one can make you feel any way. It's always going to be a choice. You may be a victim. And yes, I know I've talked about this, which is why I'm mentioning a lot of the things that I say are all intertwined. You can choose to be a victim of yourself and the failures, or you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps and move on and keep taking small little baby steps. because the little baby steps will make you feel good about yourself so you can enjoy your journey on the way to the goal. The idea of happiness coming after the goal completion is actually a little backward. And that's exactly what I was saying. Because once you've reached the goal, presumably it's time to create another one. So do you actually get to sit back and enjoy? Or does the happiness come before the goal is actually completed? Because you realize after a lot of little baby steps, if you look back, you've actually achieved more than one goal. And you keep setting little ones and little ones and little ones, and then the little ones become a big one. That's why in the meditation, I suggested through the meditation that you look at all the different little things that you can do and even some of the big things in order to make them happen. So I want to talk about 10 ways to enjoy the journey of achieving your goals. Fall in love with them. Fall in love with your goals. Embrace them. Make them yours, because in fact, they are. Show some passion. Get excited about whatever it is that you are saying yes to. Even if it's something as though you feel as though you should be doing. So I'm going to say stop shoulding on yourself, or should on yourself, and should on the enjoyment of it. Again, it's your choice. It's what you make of it. Because your goal is always going to be bigger than your setbacks. So when you love your goal, you can feel excited about pursuing your goal. Even though you could be scared shitless. You can be so scared. It's still about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Embrace the fear. Turn the fear into love, into excitement. Because remember, fear is just a false emotion appearing real, or false evidence appearing real. I'm sure there's even more acronyms that are just not coming to me. There's nothing truly to be afraid of. Hold the love. Seek the happiness that you want for yourself. And be relaxed. I do every show with a meditation to relax, so we can all be open to setting goals and to pursuing our goals. Because when we are relaxed, it's just so much easier to enjoy the journey, and then perhaps even not have to exert so much effort to achieve. Be consistent. Take a few steps every day towards your goal. It's okay if they're little. This just popped in. You know, if one of your goals is to move you out of depression or to tame your anxiety, that's okay. Baby steps. Be consistent. Set different goals each day, or do the same one repetitively to achieve letting go, to be able to move yourself through. So it's easier for you to move from being depressed and allowing the new pathways to create a new habit. Thank you, Sharyn. Those words were not coming to me, and I knew I wanted to get to a point. Allow the new neural pathways for you setting a new goal each day, or doing the same thing towards achieving the goal, which is considered a baby step to for the new neural pathways to create a new habit. So be consistent and regular with pursuing your goals. Be adaptable. Starting your journey with the same plan in place as you go forward, even though managing your expectations, expecting that you will have successes along the way, and then expecting that you will have failures along the way as well, and incorporating them as part of the goal. Allowing, knowing, and seeing the failures as much of as a success as you can, because failures are also, successes as well, because now you've learned what not to do. It's also great. It's great to learn what to do. It's also really important to learn what not to do. So find meaning for yourself. Understand why your goals are so important and write down these reasons for you. Keep a little post-it in front of you so you understand what your purpose for pursuing these goals are. I think, for the show on fear, my goal was to feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's still that's been one of my major mantras. And now my newest one is, I always have a choice. It always comes down to choice. I'm always going to feel how I'm going to feel. I'm going to think how I'm going to think. I'm going to feel how I'm going to feel. And the choice is how I'm going to react. So take a breath. It's always about taking a breath for me before I react. So that's my new mantra. Receive a breath before reacting. So maintain a gratitude journal. Write down all the things that you're grateful for yourself and going along this journey. Celebrate the little successes that you have while pursuing your goals. Don't miss out on the little ones, celebrating the little milestones, because the celebrations can bring you even more joy and more happiness. And it doesn't mean that it's okay to take a breath and sit back on your laurels and I know I keep saying that. I don't know where that's even coming from, but it's okay to allow yourself the moments of the small successes, still keeping in sight the big goal. And take a break. Take a break and allow your body and your mind to rest and rejuvenate. Have some me time. Don't forget about the self-care, because it's about putting on your own oxygen mask first, so you can then keep up this momentum and this pace that you have set for yourself, and so you can keep to your timetable and setting your SMART goals. So when we come back from our next break, because you are listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, we're going to talk more about what you can do to enjoy your journey on the way to the goal. See you back in a few.
At different times on our life journey, we can feel stuck and struggle with seeing our way through. What if the answer to the struggle is just to go deeper than the surface? By tuning in to Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols, you'll receive insight and guidance on exploring your feelings in order to heal yourself. Are you ready to create a more satisfying, peaceful, and successful life? Listen for the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show, with licensed marriage and family therapist and life guide Sharyn Nichols. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also ask questions or comments by email by sending to Sharyn Nichols at feeltoheal.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. And before the break, we were talking about how you can enjoy yourself and enjoy your journey on the way to the goal. And so right now, what I would like for you to just think about is taking a look at one of your biggest accomplishments, something you are so proud of yourself for. Why are you proud of yourself for reaching your goal? I'm going to assume that your answer has something to do with the work and or the time that you put into, that you're really dedicated to that goal, that you dedicated to that goal, that you dedicated to yourself. Think about that for a second, because you deserve to achieve it. So reflecting on one of your biggest accomplishments is actually reflecting on the journey. The goal wasn't the rewarding aspect, but just the finale to your hard work. The rewarding part is knowing that you did it. You put in that work. It is the journey you had working towards your goal that you most likely find more rewarding than the goal itself. And you find it so rewarding because you did it for yourself. This is why you should enjoy the journey on the way to the goal, because once you've accomplished the goal, the journey is what you will look back on, not the goal itself. I mean, I could sit here and tell you about some of the major accomplishments, although they're sort of irrelevant. It was everything that I did that led up to it. You know, I've been saying for years that my master's program to get my degree in psychology, I learned more while going through it than actually achieving the goal of the degree. And then studying for my licensing exam, oh my goodness, that was a bigger achievement than actually taking the exam. And so I look back on that, and yes, obviously I'm so proud of myself. And of course I had failures on on taking the exam. I did not get it right in terms of the practice exams. And so of course I had the thoughts of, I don't know anything. I shouldn't become a therapist. What the hell am I doing? I know nothing. And then I, of course, took a class to help me figure out exactly how I'm supposed to answer my vignette for my oral exams. So I got the support that I needed. So I set the goal of getting my license, although I didn't do it alone. And I had the people around me that when I needed times of self-care where I just needed to not have to think about anything, I asked for the support that I needed. And I am so grateful for myself for, even with all of the setbacks and all of the self-negative talk that I did, that I actually still achieved it. And so worthy of those who around me were supporting me. And then also even more for those who didn't pass the first time around. Of course, my heart went out to them, although whenever I have failed at something the first time and then gone back and done it again and again without expecting a different result, other than succeeding rather than continuing to fail, meaning for myself, not someone else. Those have been my greatest accomplishments. That's where I've actually really felt happy. There are so many reasons why, and so many benefits of enjoying the journey. It'll motivate us even more. Being passionate and talking about, loving the goal and embracing it. I can't say enough about that and how that has been actually, looking back, my motivation for most of the things that I have done in my adult life. I realized that one of my purposes also was to raise emotionally, I shouldn't say emotionally, well, it's part of it, is to raise well-adjusted children. And I never even realized that I would actually give them the thing to become adjusted to. Although my goal, and it's been a lot of little baby steps along the way and huge setbacks as well, and a lot of failures. Although so far they seem to be doing pretty well and have adjusted pretty well in terms of their ability to communicate how they are feeling and what their needs are, and not blaming me for everything. I know I sort of got off track, and I'm going to bring it back around because I have truly enjoyed raising my children, showing them, being an example for them, showing them that it is okay to fail and that I can pick myself up by my bootstraps and move right along, because that ultimately is the most important thing. Another reason why I said yes to this podcast was so that I could show my children that it's never too late, that there's always time to set new goals, more goals, and to enjoy the journey along the way. And I truly have just that. So far, this has been so much fun for me. I've learned so much about myself. I've reached out to people to support me. I've been present for each and every show because I realized that that was the most important thing, that's what I needed to do. And I realized that the journey is as beautiful as the end goal. And that happiness and being happy has been the main reason why I have pursued and why I believe we all pursue different goals in life. So we can also be happy while we're pursuing them. It's always a choice. You're going to have your thoughts, you're going to have your feelings, although you get to choose. So finally, relax and enjoy the ride, because life is a journey, not a race. Remember, the view from the top of the mountain is as gorgeous as it is along the way. Although it may be hard work climbing the mountain, although that's what then makes it special. So take a moment to look around and see what the view really is, no matter where you are at each step along the way. So next week's topic is going to be all about human design, and I'm so excited to share just the basics, the basic understanding, because if you can figure out, or if you can know what your type is, what your strategy is, and what your authority is, and you just start living your life that way, you're good to go. Looking forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Feel to Heal show with myself, Sharyn Nichols, on the Inspired Choices Network. See you next week.
Thank you for choosing to listen to the Feel to Heal with Sharyn Nichols show. Sharyn Nichols will return next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Mountain, and 3 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, give up the struggle, feel all you need to feel, and make this week your best one yet.